It's beautiful for us to think. When God takes away the weight of everything that hinders us, we become freer to love. We become freer to love. We become freer to love. We become freer to be ourselves. It's always very difficult for us to be who we are with all the weight that life has placed on us. I personally think that it's always good for us to do that soul cleaning, right? When we start to throw away our excesses. And one of them is guilt. It's amazing how many people we find paralyzed by guilt. Guilt for past mistakes. Guilt for past mistakes. Guilt for a story they couldn't live properly, for things they couldn't accomplish. Removing guilt is as if we had removed the power of heavy chains that often prevent that person from moving forward. Today you've experienced so much. I don't know if it's lightness if you were imprisoned. Now you can choose. What do you allow to stay inside you? It's always good for us to reconcile with what didn't work out in life. Carrying enemies is the same thing. It's like putting heavy people on you. When we don't forgive, we carry our enemies on our shoulders. The hardest thing is to carry the weight of an enmity on our shoulders. In other words, have you noticed how much our enmities limit us? If you enter a room full of friends, but if the is an enemy inside, you lose your spontaneity. It's the weight on your shoulders every time you hate. We cause ourselves too much harm. Every time you hate, you cause yourself harm that you can't calculate. And you cause yourself harm that you can't calculate. And you fool, thinking that your hate is reaching the one you hate. Sometimes he's there sleeping, beautiful and handsome. He doesn't even know that you're hating. The one who's losing sleep is you. The one who's losing sleep is you. The one who is losing peace is you. And the main thing, the main victim of the hate I feel is you, my dear. It is you, my dear. Therefore, through this sea, do not allow the sea of hate, resentment, and hurt to prevent you from getting a good night's sleep. It is a pleasure to be who you are, to have that lightness of heart that you deserve and that the one who is by our side deserves too. First, you need to rationalize. You do not deserve to hold grudges or hate. Sometimes we have that illusion that the hate we feel hurts the other person, that we want to get revenge on them. There is nothing more idiotic than that. The other person is living his life, and you are the one who is drinking your own poison. When you choose to hate, aren't you doing something else to yourself, if not pouring a vial of poison into the health of your body? It is the opposite effect of the vaccine. Instead of putting something that will immunize you to maintain your psychic and emotional health, you are injecting a poison into your flesh. Why hate? It can even be found in the blood tests we do, because it causes such a huge disorder. It's a spill of toxins. And every time we hate, every time we get angry, every time we get angry, every time we get violent, if I take your blood, right at the moment you're dead with rage. Not dead, right? Almost dead, right? And at the moment you're under that rush of anger, if I say, here, look, you're extremely angry. I'll take a blood sample from him at the moment he's extremely angry. I'll take a blood sample from him at the moment he's extremely angry. How this test will identify the toxins that make us sick. They're the hormones that are against us, that even make us fat. I knew that anger makes us fat. I knew that anger makes us fat, right? It's because they're hormones that make us fat and kind of prevent the metabolism from being more ha-ha. That's why I always say it's much more worthwhile to forgive, because forgiveness frees us. Don't carry the weight of enmity on you. You may be here in 20 or 30 years, carrying the weight of enmity that is not worth it. Why would you weigh this on your shoulders if you could live more lightly? Sometimes other people carry the weight of wrong choices they made in life. They don't have the courage to correct the wrong choices they made, and they keep blaming themselves. Blaming themselves? Light? Sometimes other people carry the weight of wrong choices they made in life. They don't have the courage to correct the wrong choices they made. They don't have the courage to correct the wrong choices they made. blame themselves, become an unhappy person, and stop doing what they wanted to do with their life to live precisely the weight of what they didn't want. They throw it away, and that's where the old question that I never tire of talking about comes. And in self-knowledge, my people, discover how you work, what irritates you, what makes you reach your limit, and start being disciplined so you can work on these issues. You settle, right? Don't let yourself settle, just like the muscle in our body often settles, which no longer wants to do anything. Can you live lighter? Sometimes, other people carry the weight of wrong choices they made in life, but they don't have the courage to correct the wrong choices they made. She blames herself, becomes an unhappy person, and stops doing what she wanted to do with her life, to live with the burden of what she didn't want. Throw it away, and that's where the old question that I never tire of talking about comes in. Self-knowledge, my people. Discover how you work, what irritates you, what makes you reach your limit, and start being disciplined so you can work on these issues. You settle, right? Don't let yourself settle, just like the muscle in our body often settles, which no longer wants to do anything, which already gives in to weakness. No, we are going to be very strong in every way. We will have the inner disposition to love, to forgive as many times as necessary, but now I need it. I need to have the disposition to avoid hurt. That's the big question. Many times we want the other person to forgive us, but we don't have the disposition to avoid what hurts. And I say again, it's not that we will stop being hurt. No, but that hurt will not continue to hurt as much as it did last year. Whoever has a fruitful experience of God creates the spiritual immunity that helps us to understand a little more the process that hurts us. Then you free yourself a little,